So today's practice is one that is really dear to my heart because truly this has been one of the most useful and transformative practices and kind of approaches to life that I've ever experienced. And so I'm really passionate about teaching it and showing other people how to bring something like this into their lives. And really today is all about how to create harmony. And that's obviously quite a broad term, but ultimately what it's about is creating harmony between yourself, between all of your inner selves, and between your inner selves and the world around you. And so another way that I like to call it is creating consensus. And so I'm going to just show you a few ways to do that. And we'll just play. And then the idea is that you can take this practice on and kind of adapt it and make it your own and make it more advanced and see where it takes you. So let's just start, as always, by closing our eyes. Just take a few really nourishing deep breaths in and just really bring yourself to the present moment and to this point in time and space. You are here now, and just bring your awareness into your body. So I like to bring my awareness always to the center of my head, kind of behind my eyes, in between my ears, in that space of clarity. And I like to, from there, bring my awareness all the way down my spine and kind of really root into the chair that I'm sitting on or wherever you are. And bringing your awareness into your... So today's practice is one that is really dear to my heart because truly this has been one of the most useful and transformative practices and is actually the first step to creating harmony, because the minute you do that, you have merged your awareness with your body. And so you've already kind of defragmented that one part, where so often when our awareness is not in the body, we're already kind of split. And so just bringing your awareness into the body, into the here and now, you've already created harmony between your awareness, between your body, between space and time. And when you do that, when you're in present time and you're in your body, that's when you start to have access to the full spectrum of your powers and your capabilities. So just spend a moment noticing your breath, noticing the feeling of being inside your body and being in present time and being aware of the space around you. And notice what it feels like to have that heightened level of presence. Your quality of presence is immediately more impeccable. So from this space, keeping your eyes closed, we're going to start to work with the idea of our inner selves. So some of you might have worked with your inner selves before. You might have done various types of inner self work. And there's a practice that I really love, and that is based on the notion that you are not just a singular being. You know, you are actually a collection of many different inner selves. And your selves encompass every age that you've ever been and every age that you ever will be. And they include your most tender and vulnerable and wounded selves, as well as your most powerful, radiant, creative selves, and everything in between. And your inner selves, they contain your capacities and all of your potentials, as well as your shadows and your pain. And together, they contribute to your wholeness. They make you who you are. And so just this act, I like to put my hands on my chest, on my heart, or on my belly, and I love to just acknowledge the entirety of all of my inner selves and just hold all of my inner selves in one go. Just to acknowledge that I am this family of many different inner selves. And between them, your inner selves carry all of your life experiences, your past experiences, as well as your future experiences. And they also hold the experiences of your ancestors, your culture, your society, your gender, your genetics, and of humanity as a whole. So inside of you, you hold all of it. And anything that you want to accomplish in this life requires all of these inner selves to bring it to fruition. So this is why this practice is so useful, because the more you get to know your inner selves and the more you develop a relationship of love, trust, clarity, and truth with them, the more easily you can mobilize all of your inner selves to help you create the kind of life that you desire. So the first exercise really is just how to connect with your inner family in a way that is safe, boundaried, and loving. So just drop your awareness into your heart space. Just really gently, just sink your awareness down to that space in your heart, which is naturally a space of love and wholeness and compassion and wisdom. And in this space, just imagine kind of opening your arms up and just inviting all of your inner selves to come and join you. So just really make it clear, everybody is welcome. All of your inner selves come and join you, and to sit in a circle in your heart space. And really important here is to make this space boundaried. And so perhaps you're on the beach, or perhaps you're in a forest clearing, or perhaps you're in a really cozy room. Choose a space that feels really safe for you. And just make sure there's some kind of boundary around it, whether it's some trees, or whether it's some rocks or some walls, so that all of your inner selves feel safe and so that it's a contained space. And the first thing to do, which is so important, is to notice that there may be some folks here that are not one of your inner selves. So the first thing to do is to say, anybody here who is not one of my inner selves, please leave the circle. Just kind of stand up, leave your circle, leave your heart space, leave your body, and just give them back to the light of wholeness. Just give them back to earth. Give them back. And you absolutely can do this, because this is your kingdom, this is your body, and you are the sovereign of your kingdom. And what we don't want to do is process inner selves that don't belong to us. And if you need, when you're doing this practice yourself, you can always ask one of your inner selves to help escort out one of the inner selves that are not yours. And so now you're left with a circle of your inner selves. So this is just a really quick and powerful way to create harmony. Just speak to your whole circle of inner selves. And you just acknowledge that they're all there, and you thank them for all being together with you. And just let them all feel really seen. Because in this circle, you're going to have your tender selves, your vulnerable selves, your powerful selves, your scared selves, your excited selves, all of the ages. And so just bringing them all together in one space like this, it's incredibly unifying. Because what you're doing is that you're seeing each one of them And you're kind of holding them all in the same unified space of love. So you don't banish one inner self in favor of another inner self. You're acknowledging that your scared, tender selves are just as important to you as your powerful, radiant selves. And each one of these inner selves is their own sovereign being. And so when you start your day, what you can do is you drop down into your heart space like this, and you let your inner selves know what you're planning to do that day. Planning to go into work, or you're planning to take a trip and go on holiday, or meet up with somebody. Maybe you're doing something that requires a bit of courage, requires you to meet certain parts of yourselves that might be a bit challenging. And you let all of your inner selves know. And you let them all know that they are safe. Everybody here is safe. So just let them know right now, everybody in this circle of your inner selves is safe. And that you love each one of them. That you cherish each one of them. That each one of them is equally important to you. None of them are going to be left behind. And that you want to create a relationship with them of love and trust. And that you are all on the journey of life together. And so just that simple act of acknowledging, making them feel safe, seen, loved, and heard is an incredibly powerful act of harmonizing your inner world. Because the minute that you recognize that you have all of these different inner selves, each with their own fears and worries and ideas, the different journeys each one of them are on, you stop creating a fixed narrative about yourself. Because when we create fixed narratives about who we are, then anything that doesn't fit into that fixed narrative, we kind of reject or banish or exile. And so when you sit in this space in your heart and you look at all of your different inner selves, you can't make a fixed narrative. It's like you just relax and you just embrace all of those different parts of yourself. So the second exercise I'm going to show you is one that you can definitely really expand upon in your free time. So you're in this circle of your inner selves. And I want you to imagine in the middle of the circle, just putting a seat, and make this seat really like a living lap. Like it's the most loving, safe, warm space. It's right opposite you. It's the kind of seat where anybody who sits down in it immediately feels really safe. I want you to say to your circle of inner selves, just invite any self who has something really important they want to say, who really wants to be heard, just invite them to stand up and to walk over and to sit down in that seat. So just make that invitation to your inner selves and stay really relaxed. And just wait and see if anybody comes and sits down. And if nobody does, that's fine. You just stay really relaxed and you can listen to the practice and learn how to do this for yourself. And if somebody does come and sit down, just pay attention, firstly, to how old is this inner self? Just make note and then just listen. Just ask this inner self what it is that they want to share with you. And you just listen. You feel, you intuit, you watch. And just really listen to what this inner self needs from you at this moment. And you can ask really specifically, what do you need from me in this moment to feel whole? So you listen, and then you give that inner self what he or she needs in this moment to feel whole and safe and loved. And then you can, now that you've created this safe space, you can ask this inner self to feel into who are they in their wholeness. So ask them to feel into who they really are on a soul level. What are their gifts? What is their genius? What are their soul qualities? So you're really watching this inner self as they heal, and you're asking them to connect with their true soul essence and the magic that they're here to bring into this world. And as you're doing this, you start to realize that here in this circle of inner selves, amongst all of those different parts of yourself, this is the raw material of your genius and your gifts. So each one of these inner selves is so valuable to you. And you'll start to notice that at different times in life and different situations, you'll have certain inner selves who make themselves known. They might be freaking out. They might be really excited. You start to get to know the different inner selves that tend to pipe up in different situations. And then you learn who they are and what their needs are. And when you help them feel safe and connect to their wholeness, you also start to understand their specific gifts and their genius. And that is how you harmonize your pain and your suffering, and you alchemize it into your gifts. And so thank that inner self if there was one. Give them a big hug. Ask them to move back to the circle. And of course, when you do this practice with yourself, you can take a lot more time. And it might be another inner self who wants to come forwards. But I want to show you the third practice, which is really useful. And that is how to create consensus and harmony with a specific intention that you have. So if you have something coming up that is a little activating for you, maybe you have a photo shoot planned for your website, or maybe you have to give a presentation, or maybe you're going out on a date, or something that is making you feel a little, ooh. What you can do is anytime, any place, you just take 5, 10, 15 minutes, you sink down into your heart space like this. You call a meeting of all of your inner selves. Make sure it's a boundaried space, and you speak to your whole family, inner family, and you say, all right, guys, we have a date tonight. I have a date tonight. And yes, I'm nervous, but I'm choosing to meet this experience with open-heartedness, curiosity, willingness. So you're showing your inner selves that you are making choices, that you are choosing to meet whatever is coming up in your life with openness, curiosity, and willingness. And so they're seeing you deciding to be in relationship with life, and they know what's coming. So you can keep them really informed of whatever you're doing in your day, and you can do it in a really kind of formalized way like we're doing, but you can also just have an ongoing dialogue so that nobody feels shocked or ridden roughshod over. So your inner selves see that you are really choosing to be in relationship with life, and that when things happen that are scary, which happens every day, they trust you because they feel like you've got this. And then they don't feel the need to take over and hijack the situation. So you're just learning how to speak to your collection of inner selves. You let them know what's happening, and you let them know that you've got this, and that nobody's going to be left behind, and that you're all on this journey together. And you can call on those particular inner selves that have gifts and skills in the exact area that you want to move forwards in. You can ask them to lend you their genius. And so those 3 practices, which of course these are just the bare bones of these practices, it's really just a way to show you how to create harmony and consensus with yourself, with all of your different inner selves. Because truly, if you can develop a relationship of trust, mutual trust and love and safety with your inner selves, your entire experience of life will be radically different. You will feel a lot more fluid, and you will hold less fixed narratives about other people. And so naturally, your compassion will increase, and your resilience, and your willingness to embrace life with choice and with sovereignty. So thank you so much. You can slowly open your eyes and just keep that awareness of all of your inner selves and what it feels like to be kind of in a leadership position with your inner family. So with your eyes open now, just see what it feels like to be in your space and in your room, but kind of with that awareness of all of the different parts of yourself, but all feeling really safe.